Did you watch the Netflix documentary, Greatest Night in Pop?
I certainly did.
What do you think?
I liked it. I really did enjoy it.
Phenomenal documentary.
Here's the interesting thing about the Greatest Night in Pop. The biggest talk on social media was the discourse about Prince choosing not to participate.
Yes, of
and a
course.
lot of people coming to his defense and saying, "Well, that's not. It wasn't even a good song anyway." And I'm like, "Well, they raised $80 million for family relief. Somebody thought it was a good song." You know what I'm saying? The fastest selling single in American music history.
Mhm.
Somebody had to think it was good. So I don't like this whole idea. I mean, look, people like what they like. People don't like what they don't like. That's fine. But I really don't like this whole thing about trying to make something look bad to try to justify somebody else's decisions. The reason that no one knows for sure exactly why Prince decided not to do We Are the World. By all accounts, he was a person that was a shy person that didn't like being around lots of people, particularly other celebrities, and he had his own way of recording music, and he wouldn't have been as comfortable, and that's perfectly fine.
And let's be
The
real too.
song,
Also, the dude was fucking petty back then too. Back in those days, he was petty as shit.
no,
That's okay.
he was petty when he was at the end of his life too, but I mean, yeah, but yeah, but that's okay because because people forget USA for Africa was an album. We Are the World
Yes,
was one song.
on an album. Yes,
It was the
correct.
centerpiece of an album, and Prince did give For the Tears of Your Eyes a beautiful, beautiful record, and gave it to that album that is great. And he did it his way, and the end result was wonderful. And I'm fine with that. We Are the World didn't need Prince, and you know, but that's like the one thing that I like the discourse I wanted to talk about in terms of people trying to make the song sound like it wasn't a good song to try to justify the fact that Prince didn't show up. No.
The song is supposed to appeal to a demographic from ages birth to 90 years old. Okay,
Yeah,
if you're trying to do like a song that's supposed to be like show you're a genius, then you're missing the point here. It's supposed to appeal to everybody, so everybody can buy the record, so the money can go towards feeding hungry kids and families down in Africa.
yeah.
That's the whole point.
Kenny Loggins said it best in the documentary. He said, "It certainly had a memorable chorus." And Bruce Springsteen thought, "Oh, this is a very broad, sweeping song, and and it needs to be this way."
And that's the point.
And that was the point. And Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie were the two people that understood that more than almost anybody in music at that time. Certainly, it's interesting that Stevie Wonder. I kind of knew that Stevie Wonder was supposed to be involved in the writing of We Are the World, and ultimately wasn't. I didn't know the exact details of the fact that they asked him first to
The
work with
brother
Lionel,
missed phone
and
calls. I'll get back
and
to
he
you.
didn't, and he just pushed it off, and and then ended up getting to Michael.
And best part is this dude's like coming into the studio, like, okay, we're gonna rate it right now. No, Stevie, this song's done.
Yeah, I love the fact that Quincy said, "Let me talk to him."
Yeah, and he was cool with it. It's okay, cool. Let's just
No,
get
I
it
mean
done.
he had to be, especially when Lionel's like, "Dude, we tried to tell you weeks ago. Like,
Yeah,
we told you weeks ago we wanted you to write the song. You were too busy." I
you,
mean, look,
you,
it's the fact that Stevie Wonder was in Buffalo, New York, less than 10 hours before he was supposed to be in that studio to record that song should tell you everything you need to know. And that's no shade to Stevie, because Stevie is the GOAT, and I will not
hell yeah,
tolerate
man.
Stevie slander.
It's my number 2 all time favorite artist. So yeah, I'm with you there. But the Prince thing too, also like one of the things we found out, no, this is true. Not this is based on documentary. The part that Huey Lewis did,
Yeah.
with my, Michael did the part, went down now, Huey Lewis comes in, the
Mm-hmm.
opera. Supposedly that was Prince's part.
Yes. Yes.
I gotta be honest with you, Matt. And I love Prince. He's my number 3 artist of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, personal. I can't see Prince singing that.
I'm going to be perfectly honest. There's nothing like, but that's the whole point. Like, where in that song would Prince have made sense?
Seriously. Now, granted, I say that as someone that like Quincy Jones' genius shown here on the show on this song, because how you can get Springsteen and Steve Wonder's vocals to mix well in the same part of the song and it sounds
Mhm.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Q can make it work out somewhere for Prince. I just don't know Prince's style vocally would have fit on this
But
song.
I think that had more to do with optics than it did to do with um arrangement. Even though Tom Baylor did a
Something like that.
exquisite job as a vocal arranger and the
Yeah.
person that is chiefly responsible for putting everybody in their proper order in terms of the solos. Um, Tom Baylor, of course, which didn't get mentioned in the documentary, he wrote "She's Out of My
On my
Life"
life is correct.
for the Off Wall album.
Right.
He is the one who played the Beat It intro on Thriller.
Hmm.
Very big part of Quincy's A team. And he did a great job. But personally, just trying to like, I think that in terms of they alluded to this, having Michael Jackson standing next to Prince in that moment, going from him to him, that was a moment that they wanted to capture. So it had more to do with optics than it did to do with the recording in and of itself. And you know, I think to myself like, why I you know, as a person that is, constantly, researching about Michael Jackson and Prince,
Yeah.
I'm really of two minds about it because I understand why people compare the two of them, but I also think it's weird that people compare them because they really are apples and oranges.
It's literally LeBron and Jordan. Like they're literally two different players.
It's not
Like
even like
there's no
LeBron and
comparison.
Jordan.
There's no
It's like
comparison.
it's like LeBron and Kareem.
No, but I'm saying, but what I'm saying, like LeBron and Jordan are two completely different players, though.
Yeah,
They really are. They really
well,
are.
well. That's why I say LeBron and Kareem because
Right.
LeBron and Jordan are still two wing players.
Correct.
LeBron is a wing player and Kareem was a post up sky hooking center. That's why I'm like, okay, their
Yeah.
aesthetics are completely different in
Right.
terms of the way they sing, the way that they record, the
Hmm.
production, the way they approach music, the way they release music. It's very, very, very different. I mean, they have a lot of similarities. I mean, outside of both being
Work ethic
black
and all that. Yeah.
Midwesterners,
Right.
but and and their influences are also very similar.
Yeah.
Between Stevie Wonder being big influences on both of them, James
James
Brown being
Brown.
big influences on both of them, Sly Stone being big
Yes.
influences on both.
Absolutely.
More so on Prince throughout his whole life. Sly was really an early influence with Mike,
Right.
but to me, it was just an optical moment that they were trying to obtain to try to, galvanize people. That maybe Prince saw it for what it was and decided not to partake because of that. I mean, we'll never really know, but I think ultimately it was the right decision.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I'm glad that they exposed Waylon Jennings' racist ass,
So he
for
he
not
wasn't on the
singing.
video at all, right?
So Waylon Jennings was in the chorus.
Okay.
So, and I've heard this story because Huey Lewis said this story on Questlove Supreme podcast. That's another reason why I know that he sang Prince's part. So Waylon Jennings was in the chorus and he did record, the "We Are the World, We Are the Children."
Right.
When Stevie butted in and tried to get them to sing Swahili, that's when he was like, okay, this is a bridge too far for me. And he just walked out. Because it's like, yeah, no good old boy ever sang Swahili. I'm leaving.
He never came back, right?
Yeah, he never. Yeah, he just walked away without saying anything to anybody, and it's just like, okay, that's the bridge too far for you.
Yeah.
He really showed his ass in that
You
moment.
should at least ask questions. What are you saying? At least whatever.
Yeah, but like I said, they didn't need Waylon Jennings on that song.
No,
You know what
no,
I'm saying? It's not like
no.
he was gonna sing um a solo or anything. And plus his boy Willie was there, Willie Nelson. So
He was great. He was great in that song too.
who was great. And that's the other thing that's great about Tom Baylor, the fact that not just the solos, but the melding of the voices, knowing that Willie Nelson and Dionne Warwick would meld together well, knowing that Stevie and Bruce would meld together well, that
That
Paul
was the
Simon.
highlight. That was the highlight of the whole fucking song was the Bruce
Oh
and
yeah,
Springsteen, Bruce
yeah,
and Stevie.
exactly. And then Paul Simon and Kenny Rogers blending together, and then the decision to have what was it, Chris Karn, the Betty Davis Eyes girl. What's her name?
Kim Carnes.
Kim Carnes.
Right.
So having Kim Carnes and Huey Lewis harmonize, which wasn't originally in the original arrangement, that decision ultimately proved to be a good decision. So that's why I'm like having Prince there to sing next to Mike, knowing what Prince's voice sounds like. It's just like it just didn't make a lot of sense. I mean,
I got my friend earlier on one of my friends on the show, Duke. He was sitting there saying, Duke Bennett. He was sitting there saying that Huey Lewis can't sing, neither can sing opera. Like, what are you fucking talking about, bro?
No, Huey Lewis can sing his ass off.
Yes, he can sing his ass off, dude.
Yeah,
and I thought his part was awesome.
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, when he got it right.
Right. He was nervous as shit. He was probably nervous as shit though, because number one, you're sitting next to Michael Jackson, who obviously at the time was the biggest star in the world. Okay, and wrote the fucking song on top of that too.
Not to mention the fact that he wasn't supposed to sing it, so he's just learning it in the moment. Right. Everyone else was sent those tapes and were told ahead of time,
right,
this is the part that you're going to sing. He wasn't prepared to sing that part, so of course he's not like even the whole thing with Bob Dylan, having Stevie Wonder sort of coach him through doing his solo.
That was awesome though. That part was watching him
together.
Amazing.
And I love the fact that Bob really confided in Stevie, and Stevie was able to mimic his voice, and they were able to get it right. It was I said, that's why Stevie is the best. And then
dude,
of course,
I'm watching that show. I'm watching the thing. I'm like, Stevie's an awesome hangout. He just has an awesome hangout.
Yeah,
I feel like that gotta be awesome to hang out with. Just have dinner with and just to hang out.
I would love. I've been trying to interview him for God knows how long. I would love to interview him before he goes, because he like I said, I have so many questions.
he has a great spirit about him too. Also,
yeah.
When we lose him, I'm gonna be a wreck when you lose him. So
yeah. I mean, and plus, one of the great things about Stevie is his sense of humor.
Yes.
That's and he doesn't take himself too serious. I mean, to me, he's the greatest artist ever, and he doesn't take himself too seriously, and you can't ask that of anyone.
Yeah. Any other standouts on this documentary? I mean, Quincy Jones is a genius. You've seen the building of the voices. Of course, you see why he's the greatest producer of all time. To me,
yeah, definitely.
I love how this documentary also highlighted Michael's humility too, Michael Jackson's humility, because he wrote the song. Yeah, he didn't want to be. He didn't want to be the centerpiece. Not only that, he didn't want to be a centerpiece. Like, he's the biggest star in the world. He could have said, why I wrote the didn't want to sing on the song. He not want to be in the video either. Initially,
because he was very afraid of overexposure. I mean, Thriller was the biggest selling album of the world. He was literally a month off of the Victory tour.
Yeah.
So he's like, no, I'm gonna chill.
But think about the self-awareness of someone. We discussed Taylor Swift earlier in the podcast about over and over and over and over and over. He's always in our face. Think about, you already have now accomplished being the biggest star in the world right now. Okay, and the self-awareness of, you know what, I want to step back, take a breathe, take a breather. That takes a lot of self-awareness to say that.
Yeah, but people forget how long Michael was doing it at that point. It's not like he was just famous out of nowhere because of Thriller or because of Off the Wall. He was literally a legend before he turned 18 years old.
Right.
People forget that at that time he was 26 years old, and he was already a seasoned veteran that was very wise beyond his years. Right. He was 26 to everyone else, but he might as well have been 66 in terms of his knowledge of the industry, his knowledge of songwriting, his knowledge of recording and vocalization, and even just navigating celebrity culture.
Right.
You know, he really had great humility and self awareness, and particularly Lionel Richie. I love the fact that
Yes.
Lionel, talked about um, how he and Michael goofed off a lot before they actually wrote the song.
The
Um,
snake. The story of the snake. Remember the snake? He found the
oh
snake.
yeah, the Lionel, he was looking for us. Oh my god! It's like how do you lose a snake? Like how do you lose a 40-foot python? Like
Only
that's not
Michael, dude.
something that's not high on the list of things that you misplaced.
Only Michael, dude. I
You
swear, dude. That
misplace a pair of glasses.
exactly.
You don't
Yes.
misplace a giant python.
Yeah. Exactly. No. Other standouts on the documentary besides that. Sheila E. felt used.
That to me was a revelation. That was so unfortunate because it was so great to see her. Sheila E has always been such an affable
Yes.
presence. So she's so talented and so gracious. And I felt really, really bad that she was put into that position and made to feel that way.
To draw Prince in to do the
To
show, to do the
draw,
song.
if that is the reason why they did
Do you
that.
believe it?
I believe there's some truth to it.
Yeah.
Even if Lionel wasn't doing it directly, he definitely was complicit in whatever decision it was to tell her you're gonna sing a verse when they had no intentions of having her sing a verse because they're trying to get Prince. Because that does seem like that was the case, and that's really, really unfortunate because, like I said, Sheila at the time, was really coming into her own
Yeah.
as a solo artist, and actually did perform as a solo artist that night,
In Reverse was
singing The
right.
Glamorous Life. And there was really a big coming out party for her.
That song was so dope. By the way, I love that song.
Oh yeah, love that song. Oh, just real quick, what's better, A Glamorous Life or A Love Bazaar?
I'll live Glamorous Life though, because I mean, I just love that song.
Yeah,
I love the long version and the short version. So,
yeah,
so
yeah. But that to me was really, really unfortunate. Another revelation to me, besides, like I said, Tom Baylor and the way that he arranged the vocals, um, another revelation I'd have to say would be uh, Al Jarreau being drunk.
yes, that's the one. That's what it was,
That
dude.
that was really, really fun. Them Quincy ordering Roscoe's chicken and waffles
Yes, I got I got
for
hungry.
everyone.
I got hungry watching that too. I was like, damn, I'm starving now.
It was great to see like Kenny Rogers like eating Roscoe's chicken and
Yeah,
waffles and all that stuff, or like the cute moment where like Cyndi Lauper is sort of getting subconscious about like the recording, and they're like, "Oh, we hear something feedback," and it turns out she had on too many bracelets and
too many
too many
beads. Yeah,
loud things and too
yeah.
many beads. So that was another good moment for me.
She was nervous as hell. She
Oh
was
yeah,
very nervous. She was very nervous.
because that was another weird part, was like right before it's like, oh, my boyfriend says the song is not going to be a hit, so I don't think I should be on it. I'm like, oh my god, of all the excuses to bow out, that's so
I'm
juvenile.
really curious to see who the boyfriend was at the time. Very curious.
I'm sure he was like one of those like sort of possessive, abusive types.
Probably gotta be. Um.